right arm to lift this up. And for this contraction, my deltoids, the ATP molecules are exploding. So what I'm saying is nothing is as simple and nothing is worth taken for granted. So then only the movements become yoga. So this same movement is yoga. If I'm considering all this, then it is yoga. If I'm just doing it for how high I can take it, that is not yoga. So at least on this Yoga International Day, at least those who are following our system, we have to make that distinction. Just making shapes is not yoga. You have to connect to a deeper state. You have to consider the philosophy, the culture, the tradition. All of that makes yoga, not just in Namaste and the yoga mat, these considerations. So that's what I want to share with you. Now we will move on to the different movement traditions. So we can start by just chanting these verses, those who are interested in doing so, just one time, and then we'll take a short sitting, and then we will start with the mat practice. So we can chant one Om together, those who wish to. After that, I'll chant the Gayatri. So take the Namaste. You can either chant or simply listen. Oh. Om Bhur-Bhuvaswah Tatsavitur-Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayad. So you can slowly lower the hands and sit for a few moments with the eyes closed. May our attention, may it contemplate on this very sitting. So your sitting position itself needs so much work. So connect to the sensation of touch of the sit bones on the floor. So right now you're all experiencing this touch of the sit bones on the floor. Dhimahi is you let your attention consider as to how am I experiencing this sense of touch. The process is infinite. Your sensory nerves picking up impulses, sending it to the spinal cord, sending it to the brain. These are all some neurological answers. But what orchestrates all of this? Even just this sensation of the sit bones, so profound. So then you're actually embodying the Gayatri mantra. Now become aware of your breath. Notice the incoming breath. Notice the outgoing breath. Here also notice that you do not really know that intelligence which is watching our blood, noticing our oxygen carbon dioxide ratio, and adjusting the inhale and exhale with it. That's so amazing, Ashcharya. To be in yoga doesn't mean to be in a shape. It means to be in the acknowledgement of, I do not know, avyakta, and in wonderment of it all, Ashcharya. Now let's take a few deep breaths. Exhale completely. Inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 seconds. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 seconds. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and release the breath. Now staying here, take the Namaste gesture, the palms touching each other, and connect to the two meanings of Namaste even as you're sitting here. One is Namaste as a greeting, and at Manasa we give particular emphasis on the etymological meaning of Namaste. So na means no, mama means mine. Astu, we can also interpret it as exist. So let there be an existence of this knowledge that nothing, this body, this breath, this mind, it do not belong to me. Not a single cell of this body I made. It belongs to the universe. So that is the meaning of that namama astu namaste. But we are curious. We want to connect with it. We want to connect this universal essence in our individual existence itself. So these are the directions for which yoga formed in the first place. Really sense. So in the context of light, we will be moving towards sun salutations. So that is that Savitur, that great light. Now, to prepare for that, we lie down. So those who are new with us, you might have to look at the screen more. So first is you just lie down, and since you're looking, we'll straight away go into the movement. So that is right knee towards the chest, hug. So if you're watching, Sun Salute got even this forward bend movement, that's a hip flexion. One leg going back, this is a hip flexion. So this is what you're doing first in a supine manner. So everything should have a meaning, a context. So now all are being done in service of our Sevita, the sun salutation movements. So hug, and if you're comfortable in your environment, you may close eyes. Rovina, can you unmute? Sorry, you can mute here. So staying here, again, that call of the Gayatri, Dhimahi. Di means your attention. May it contemplate on the wisdom of the knee hug. So how am I hugging this shin? How am I experiencing the sense of touch? So releasing the taken for granted, that force of ignorance is a big part of yoga. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. So these are all the great invitations of yoga. We have to consider all that in our practice. That's when the knee hug becomes a part of yoga. Now you can slowly release the right leg, and you can take a look at the screen for a moment. So in the sun salute, this same movement, the knee hug, comes in a dynamic way. So it comes as from a down dog, you need to step, and you need to step back as well. So to connect to that, we need to do dynamic knee to chest. So you can take the arms overhead, and exhaling, take the right knee towards the chest. Inhaling, take the right leg forward. So exhale, knee towards the chest. Inhale, straighten. And again, this is yoga. So just don't do it in any way you feel like. Do it with the rhythm. So do it with the breath. So give it a tempo. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So then you're bringing that attention. So every moment of the movement should be lit up with your attention. After the next exhale, release the leg and relax the arms and close eyes for a few moments. So in this position, again, being curious as to where is the mind moving towards. So mind is pre-habituated to work in the patterns of remembering, planning, fantasizing, fearing. So yoga hopes to shift these kind of patterns of the mind. So right now, let the mind notice the breath. Notice the capacities of movement, action, and perception. Let the mind notice the capacity of the intellect. We have everything we need to. So feel empowered. And with each breath, that's a signal that the universe wants to support you. So feel the power of that intention of the universe behind your breath. Now take the left knee towards the chest. Hug. So even this movement, you consider just now as you took the left knee towards the chest, maybe now you internally pause to reflect on the wonder of it. So another great yoga text, ask the students to always repeat internally the word kena. Kena meaning by what? How? So keneshidam, willed by what the leg moved. I don't have a clue how the leg came towards the chest. The subtle motor nerve and all of those things I'm not deliberately doing. I do not break the third phosphate molecule to release that energy from the ATP. All I learn, but I'm not doing it. So every movement worthy of your respect, worthy of your attention. Each moment a grace. Now let's do the dynamic practice. So take the arms overhead and straighten the left leg forward. Now exhale, take the knee towards the chest. Inhale, you straighten. So we are doing this for around 30 seconds. So simply doing for doing sake, that's just doing. But as you try to know it, as you try to infuse some contemplations with it, then it starts to become yoga. So after the next movement, slowly rest the leg down and just close your eyes and again, just feeling with each passing moment of the practice of yoga, you might find that the mind settles. Mind is starting to get a bit of an interest in the mystery of your essence. Not just how you look outside. So lying down in this complete respect of this process of the body, this process of the breath, And you can even tell the universe that, universe, I really don't know how to feel my connection with you. I know you are in each and every cell of mine, just like the great ocean is in every part of the wave. But the wave might think of it only as a small wave, which takes birth as it rises from the ocean and which is scared of again collapsing back. But all the time, it was ocean before coming up as a wave, and after it exists as a wave. So now the second position in relation to sun salute. So if you look at me in sun salute, this particular movement where from down dog you're stepping forward. So this is a position where the knee is over the heel. So this hip flexion we need, otherwise we can't really step forward between the hands in that position. So we need to get this range, for which you need to do the same thing but reversed. So this is Supta Marichi, as we call it in our school. So if you see Sandhya, so she is taking this knee a bit outside and towards the floor. So just to give you another angle, if you're not familiar with this, so if you can watch me. So the knee is just outside. Sandhya, am I visible on the screen? So just outside and slowly guiding it. We do not want the foot to collapse out. It stays right above the line of the knee. So you're slowly bringing the knee towards the floor without being too judgmental about it. So heel above the knee. So Bindia, heel above the knee. Okay, and don't let the foot collapse outward. Heel right. If you draw a line up from the knee, the heel should be in that line. So awareness and attention. So are we just doing the movement and simply holding it? Or is the awareness starting to penetrate the movement with investigation, with gratefulness, with amazement, and with also an enchantment? Can I do a bit more? That's an enchantment, because the universe itself is forever expanding. It's always creating more. So that you are also part of. Now release the right leg. So now again, this particular flexibility, we want it in a dynamic way. So what you need to do is, I'll give you an angle of this from this side. Again, you need to first work on a little bit of abdominal strength. So in sun salute, you have this position. Okay? So this is a position where many of us sag. Okay, so we need to prepare for that. So if you look at Sandhya, you will keep the arms straight up in line with the shoulders. Then from there, you will just, yeah, the head can be down. Just this upper back, no, just protraction. So from here, you're just doing this and going back, and just, so you can see that her hands go down, goes upward in line, and then down. So that's an upper back action. So the upper back goes forward, and then you pull it back down to the floor. So that's called protraction. So just doing that a few times. To make it easier, actually, you can lift the head up as well. So head and upper back up, really reach up, then inhale, slowly come down. Exhale, curl up, inhale, slowly come up. So Claire, now we are lifting the head and upper back off. So rising up, head and upper back goes off the floor, and inhale, slowly lie down. So continue. So all of you, head and upper back goes off. Penny, we are not doing that. Please look at the screen. Legs are straight down. Arms are both up. Arms are up. Leg is not being done anything. So curl up, head and upper back up, and then slowly go down. So this is just supine plank dynamic a few times. Okay, and then slowly come down. Relax for a few breaths. So now if you can just take a look at me. So from this angle, Sandy, just tell me if I'm seen on the screen. So this is what you're doing earlier, but bring the knee a little bit more over the chest. Earlier you went down, but this time it'll be here. And your fingers will be interlaced. Legs will be here. Then from here, what you're trying to do is you curl up, head and upper back up, bring this foot under the fingers. And then take it back here, lie back. Curl up, interlace fingers or fingers touching each other, get it under here, and then take it back. That requires some strength. So it's the same thing. You want the foot to get here. That's the same strength we are working on. So if you're looking at Sandhya from the side, you curl up with the head, and the foot has to get under here, okay? Straight up, then here. So if you can't quite get it under, that's okay. That's the direction you're working. So engaging the abdominal muscles, engaging the hip flexors. So we can just simply do some kind of movement system, but we want to prepare for it. We want to individually connect to the wisdom of each position so that the light of awareness has really penetrated it before we simply move through. Under the hands, Shanti, under the hands. Get that foot under the hands, yeah. Not catching, it should not catch at all. It's just pure hip flexor strength. Okay, after 6 times, change sides. Okay, we have to first prepare with the passive work. So it's not the same thing. So you look at Sandhya for a moment. It's just a passive work, which is the left knee catch-all of the foot, guiding it downward. So make sure, like earlier, I saw some of your foot collapsing outward. So you have to keep the foot in line, not this, and not this also. So it should be straight over the knee, and then you're trying to guide it downward, okay? So be alert for what is termed as tamas here. This is not dynamic. You're just staying here, Laura. Just staying passive, staying with the foot being held. Passive work first. Put the head down, Laura. Head down, upper back down, breathe. That knee is a little bit too high in you, so keep the right leg bent, which will ease the left hip flexion. So this is only for people who are having a little bit of difficulty with the pose. Okay, so now slowly release and prepare for that dynamic work, which involves your abdomen and hip flexor strength. So let the fingers touch right over the shoulders, then curl up, head, chest, upper back up, get the foot under the hands if possible, and then slowly lie down. So do it with awareness. And if the foot is not getting under the hands, that's okay. These are all directions. We work. We invoke the strength of the hip flexor. We invoke the strength of your abdominal muscle. But Vindhya, at the end of the movement, the sole of your left foot should be looking up at the ceiling, not at the front wall. So the sole of the foot should be looking up. So some references can be confusing initially. So then you just do however you make sense of it. That's fine. Okay, after 6 times, slowly go down, rest. So resting time, again, really be curious. With the eyes closed, is there a rest happening? So do not allow fidgety hands, fidgety eyes, adjusting anything. Don't. just see whether, just for a few moments, can we just lie down without moving? So this kind of non-doing, pure knowing, that invitation over a period of time becomes a very enticing invitation. Initially, we will look at that time as boring. So just lying down, we will still try to do some movements because we want to show, we want to make forms. But that is that ignorant mind. What we want is tamasoma jyotirgamaya. From there, we want to move into wisdom. We want to move into insights. So really ignore mind's craving for attraction, for creating movement and all that. The rest, can we really rest? So the next position, you can first watch me and then Sandhya will show. So this is in relation to a position in Sanskrit, which is called the knee chest chin. So this is from here, we have to lower the knees down, and without the elbows going backward, we need to take the chest forward with the hips going up. We need to come here. But if we do not know the movement, we will tend to do like something like this. Okay, so we need to understand the movement, for which initially it's great to work in this way. So you're lying down, arms can be back. You have to bend the legs at the same time. Sorry, you can start from here. Bend the legs, you will lift the lower back here and look back. So if you look at this, my wrists are in line with the elbows. So the tendency will be to do something like this. So here and arch. There is space under my back now. Now I'll show through Sandhya. Sandhya, for this one, to slide the head, it's good to have the head on a non-sticky mat. Okay, so maybe you have to lie outside. There's a black cloth might not show the space coming up. So you're lying down with the legs straight, arms up in line with the shoulders. So you will slide the legs into this position. At the same time, you'll bring the elbows forward and down, and you're curling up. So this is exactly the same as this. Okay, but you're understanding this movement without load. So let's do this 5 times. So just lie down, arms up in line with the shoulders, legs straight. Exhale, bend the legs, bring the elbows down, press into the floor, arch. Then slowly slide, arms go up in line with the shoulders, legs straighten. Then again, exhale, bend the legs, bend the arms, elbows down and arch, and continue. So continue by yourself, figure out this movement. So yoga is about making this deep connection with the body, understanding complex instructions. Somehow in its wave of popularity, yoga has been made to be more and more like an easy thing. Easy simply means we don't want to think more, we don't want to attend more. But that's not what yoga is. So if you find this a little bit tough, that's exactly what we want. Okay, not too easy where you don't have to think about it. After the next one, just rest. Yeah, with that slide, you might have to reset your hair. Now, there's only one more thing we need to prepare, which is the hamstrings for the forward bend in the sun salute. So we will first work on one leg. So take the right knee towards the chest, bend leg, catch hold of the back of the thigh, and then slowly straighten the leg to a point it can. So some of you might catch the foot, some of you might use the strap. So regulars can use a strap if you have one, or you might catch the foot, but you don't need to do anything to make a statement to ourselves or to others. So just be easy. So those who are not regulars in this kind of practices, t-shirt, towel, or anything is fine to put over the foot. But the main idea is we want to open up the back of the knee. So straighten one leg. And also those who are relatively new, if your leg is not at 90 degrees to the floor, if it's something like here, it's useful to bend the other leg. So that will ease that position a bit more. So once in this position, we need to guide the mind away from attraction, aversion, judgment, and all those stuff. So that's the practice of yoga called pratyahara. You need to reverse the feeling patterns of the mind. Guide the mind to sense the feeling coming from the back of the thighs, coming from the back of the knee, back of the calf. Let it sense the breath. Let it wonder about what obstructs the back of the thigh. What's this feeling? Don't simply label it as my hamstring is tight. So when we put in the stories and all the great traditions of yoga, we will find that as Ahalya Devi. So there's so much of layering of teachings which is needed in these practices to evolve an asana in a stretch. Always remember, stretch is not asana. Now slowly release the leg and change. So change, left leg up. So here the mind's attraction. If you know it, then you might be able to keep from falling for it. Mind's attraction might be to catch the foot. So for that, the shoulder might be, left shoulder might be way high, the left upper back might be off the floor, your neck will be in awkward position. But we don't care many times. We just catch the foot and think that that is the accomplished one. So don't do that. Keep the upper back on the floor. You can catch the calf or thigh, but don't compensate too much. And therein lies that yoga practice. So keep connecting to hamstring. And sometimes we might find that we are connecting not towards attraction or aversion or judgment, but we are just connecting to a sense of awareness, to a sense of energy. Then that's fine. But if not, you can bring in some techniques to concentrate on. So where is my left hip? My left hip bone, can it press a bit forward away from the ribs? All such considerations can be brought in, the deeper, subtler alignment aspects. Now slowly release the leg down. And just resting for a few breaths. Now you've been holding the leg for maybe around 45 seconds to a minute. Even then, as you release the leg right now, you might sense the sweetness of relief. So anything which we have been gripping on, that letting go comes with some kind of a pleasantness. Connect to that so that the mind learns that there is a sweetness and releasing. Mind in its ignorance thinks that we have to hold on, we have to grab. And it thinks that letting go, there's a loss. But many times, letting go of grudges, of our opinion, of our urge for one-upmanship, if we let go that, that comes with the sweetness. Now you can bend the legs. If you want to see how we're going to come up, you can look at Sandhya. So once you bend the legs, take one arm backward. Any arm is fine. Sandhya, for them to see. Then roll over to this side. Press, slowly come up and come up to a standing position. So from this position, we prepare for the first active movement of the sun salute, which is this arms up. So though that looks very simple, if you look at the complexities of the shoulder joint, we need to give it more attention. So many times our shoulders, arms are a bit inward. From this position, if you're just throwing the arms up, it can create problems for the shoulder joint. So we want to really take the head of the arm bones back first. We want to get some external rotation here. So take in Namaste position. As you inhale, you take the elbows backward, hands a little bit upward so that you get external rotation and really take back, open the heart, exhale, bring the hands back to Namaste. So just do that a few times, just really opening and feeling the shoulder joint, feeling the head of the arm bone really rotate out and set, and then slowly come back. So just working through it. So teacher train is connecting you mentally, saying that my infraspinatus and teres minor, these are names, but agencies by which I'm externally rotating the arms, and let the rotated calves protect the shoulder joint with that action. I do not want to simply throw my arms up without any knowledge of the shoulder joint. So sun salutation, in our tradition, we are not thinking about the external sun. Sun represents the light of wisdom. So every movement, there has to be some knowledge and some wisdom. So now from here, once you have taken the elbows out, this is externally rotated, then you can take the arms up and slightly look upward, and then slowly come back to this position. So externally rotate. From this position, you take the arms up and then slowly come back to a Namaste. So just doing that a few times. So do that with the breath. Okay, and then slowly come back to center. So we don't have time, but just to show you, if you simply throw the arms up, and if I freeze myself here and bring the arms down, my shoulder position is this. This is not healthy in any way you look at. So, but if we are aware, we are doing this position and then taking the arms up, if I freeze and come down, I am here. So this is what we want, not the simple like this, okay? So the next position we want to focus on is the forward bend action. So once you have taken here, so this is the length from the pubis to the sternum, we want to maintain that length, and your pelvis should tip forward, but this length should not be compromised. So you will come up to this point and you will go down to this point, not rounding the back at all. So if you have a measuring tape between pubis and sternum, from this point, that should not change. It should be the same length, not here. Okay, so this should not compress like that. So just go to a point where that length is not compromised. So initially, if the hamstrings are a little bit not allowing the pelvis to roll, maybe you'll come to this point before you start to round. Then stop right there. So you're becoming aware of the different body parts, not simply going down to touch floor with the idea. So then there is no yoga in it, as we say it in our tradition. Awareness has to be there. Context has to be there. Not just moving for moving's sake. Great. So now we will add on the next layer, so which is just this extension of the elbows. So if you watch Sandhya, so this is elbows bent, pelvis forward, drive it forward, then extend elbows. Then to save the back, you can bend the elbows as you fall forward. And then lastly, you can slightly round the spine, head down, put the hands downward. At this point, if you're not reaching the floor, you can bend legs and touch floor. Okay, so just come to this point and just staying here for a few moments. So if you're here, do not be sad if you're not reaching the floor. This is perfectly fine. Okay, so just staying there for a few breaths. They can be at the front edge of the mat. Now from here, you have to take your right leg back. So step your right leg back, knee down, and stay. So if you look here, the knee is over or above the heel. Okay, so this is the position. And you can be on fingertips. You don't have to be flat palmed if you're closed. So you need to be open chested a bit. So fingertips, and just staying there for a few moments. So we want to feel the right legs, the front hip. Here you have to feel a length. So the psoas. So that's what you're staying here and connecting to. So the psoas is this great muscle, but we tend to sit throughout the day, which shortens it. So we are now lengthening it in a reversed way. Now from here, right foot onto toes, right knee off the mat. So from this position, without moving the shoulders, take the left leg back. So stay here for a few breaths, invoke strength. Claire, don't take the shoulders back. Shoulders stay over the wrists. So every movement, you have to be aware. Which part I should mobilize, which part I should stabilize. That clarity. Now lower the knees down. So those are kind of new. You can look at Sandhya. So the elbows ideally should not move backward. Chest goes, so if you're watching Sandhya, so if I put this block here, the block should not be pushed back. So shoulders go forward and the chest goes down. Okay, so go to that position. And if you're starting, it's fine. Whichever way you go down, that's fine. Now slowly move forward with the pelvis and the chest, arch into cobra. Now onto toes, push hips up and back to down dog. Stay here for a few breaths. This is a beautiful pose. This is now opening up the calves, opening up the back of the knees, opening up back of the thighs. And if you're trying to keep the legs straight, then the knees are being pulled up, your quadriceps are getting strong. This is a mild inversion. Blood is starting to flow a bit more easily towards your heart area, throat area, skull area. It is strengthening your arms, it's improving your shoulder flexibility. So those who haven't done this sun salute before, you can look at Sandhya. Next is step right foot forward and you bring it between the hands. So if that is tough for you, right now, if you look at me, you can even drop the other knee, lift this hand, step it forward, put the hands back here. So whichever option, then back foot onto toes, knee off the mat, shift forward and step forward. Then inhale, bend elbows as you rise up all the way, arch and extend the elbows, and then slowly relax the arms down by the sides. Now we'll just do one more with the left leg moving back and forward. It's a slow round for today. So namaste position. Open the elbows, take the pelvis forward, extend the elbows. Then tip forward from the pelvis, hinge at the hips, and take the hands down, even if you have to bend the legs. Stay here for a few moments. So this again is a slightly steeper inversion than the down dog. Now take your left leg back. Left knee down, foot points back, and keep the right knee. Just look at the right knee, whether it has gone way in front. If so, just bringing it reasonably over, above the heel. And you can be on fingertips. You adjust your position so that you feel the left front hip opening. Rovina, you have to take the left hip way back, left knee way back, and lower the pelvis. That is the right leg, Rovina, left leg back. So this is to open up the front of the hip. You have to get some taste of the front of the hip of the left leg as in a lengthening sense. Now staying here, left foot onto toes, left knee off the mat. Don't be in a rush. Don't move the shoulders. Just take the right leg back. So don't move the shoulders. Inhibit the shoulder, exhibit the leg back. Claire, take the leg back. Now from here, take the knees down and then take the chest forward and down. Try to resist elbows going backward. Now slowly move the pelvis forward and down, arch, raise the front torso up, then onto your toes, push the hips up and back to down dog. Again, staying for a few breaths. Teresa, just staying in down dog. Now look forward, take shoulders forward, step left foot forward. Right knee down, and then right foot on the toes, knee off the mat, step leg forward. Inhale, rise, open chest and arch. Exhale, slowly lower the arms. So today we are just doing one sun salute, but you did it with maximum awareness. So now we will take a supine position called Supta Baddha Konasana. So you'll be sitting down. Yeah, I can face the screen for a moment. Yeah, you can feet that way is fine to start off. So this position, you will have these feet touching each other as close as possible to the pubis. And then Sandhya, can you be sideways now? So once you've taken the feet towards your pubis, you go down only to your forearms. Then you will lift the buttocks, move it even further forward so that your pubic area and the heels are as close as possible. Then you're slowly spreading out the arms and lying down. Supta means lie down. So you get the feet to touch each other, place your forearms down behind you, and then you can lift the pelvis, move it a little bit forward so that the pelvis and the feet are as close as possible. Then you lie down, let the arms slightly open up. And let the eyes close. And then be in consideration of this angle. Kona means angle. So in yoga, there is this big consideration of what is called the Ida and the Pingala, the soft and the receptive and the recuperative energies of the system, and then the active and the surviving and that kind of system. So in nervous system terms, we call it parasympathetic and sympathetic. So right now, just think of it, if there is something bit threatening, you're hearing some sounds and you start to get worried, you will close the knees and you will actually, you won't lie down with the heart open and abdomen open. So when a threat is sensed, the body will close up these areas, this very vital friend line. So when that is closed, that is something for the sympathetic nerve stimulus, nervous system stimulus. Your heart rate will go up, your blood will be more towards your muscles for fight or flight, and there will be less focus on your immunity because you have to survive today to be healed for tomorrow. So digestion, absorption, all will be put on the back burner. So right now, really feel arms a bit open, abdomen is long, that inner thighs are open. Let the face relax. Let the eyeballs sink downward. So when you sense a threat, earlier days, our eyes will be really looking into every corner to look at that threat. So right now, you allow the eyeballs to sink. You allow the tongue to relax. In doing all this, you are resting the sympathetic system overdrive and telling the parasympathetic to kick in, where blood will be diverted more towards your intestines, towards your digestion, towards other organic functions, not just muscular. So now let's focus on a few long exhalations. That also helps to invoke the parasympathetic. So exhale completely. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale softly for 8 counts. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And continue for a few breath cycles by yourself. So along with the exhalations, you can even mentally affirm the wisdom of the cells are always listening to your thoughts and intentions. They respond. So psychology and biology, they're all linked. So as you exhale, you can even say that along with the known tensions, I'm releasing all unknown, unwholesome tensions in my system. Mind, be cleansed. So with exhalation, there's a physiological cleansing. And along with that, let there be that psychological cleansing. Now slowly bring the knees upward, put the feet on the floor and knees upward. Then if you need to look at something, you can look at it. Regulars know this, Supta Kapota. So bring your right foot just beneath the left knee and the sole of the foot like looking towards the side. So we do not want this, but it's open, the toes looking up, the sole of the foot looking to the side. Now from here, you slowly take the knee in and the arm can go through this gap between the shins. So let me just check whether I'm visible. Okay. So from here, you take this arm through this gap and you can catch and just stay here, feeling this gentle opening along the right outer hip. Then slowly release that grip of the leg, change legs. So put the right foot down, bring the left foot just underneath the right knee and slowly take the right thigh towards the chest, hug. So even as you're in the pose, occasionally look at the mind. Is it just going everywhere without any sense of purpose? If so, you give it a direction. Let it focus on the breath. Let it focus on the sensation. See the mind labeling sensations very fast. You'll simply say tight or I'm bad. Such things, just smile at it. Don't fall for it. So all those things is what brings up the yoga in the pose. Slowly the pose will transform to asana, provided the mental processes, the attention processes are in the directions as expounded in the teachings. Then release. Now from here, if you can look at Sandhya, you stretch your left arm backward, overhead, roll over to the left shoulder, and you can support the face with this left hand. So there's a left arm is bent like this. Now from here, We take this right knee to look upward. So if you're new to this, you keep this lower leg bent, that widens the base of support, is easier to balance. Then you're taking this knee here. Initially, you're simply hugging to bring a good lateral abduction position here. So you're just staying here. Okay, so just staying there for a few breaths, hugging the shin with the right arm, provided your balance is okay. If not, keep the lower leg bent. Now be very relaxed about it, those who are starting new with us. So you're just enchanted. Can I catch the big toe? If you can't, that's perfectly fine. So if I can't, so if I'm here, I'm reaching, I can only reach here, that's fine. That's where I will catch. Then you're enchanted. Can I straighten the knee a bit more? So you straighten fully. So some of us will straighten, but some of us here, we feel a resistance. Don't hate that resistance. You ponder as to what is this feeling? So just, it's all a mystery. We can't have all answers to everything, but being in that humility. After a while, just see whether it's opening up a bit more. If not, that's fine. Breathe, just relax. You're staying there for a few breaths. Slowly, slowly. So never force to prove anything. Having said so, Wei, I think you can do more. Some of you I know, so I can invite you to do, but those who are not sure, and if you are not sure, if you feel a lot of resistance from that inner leg, then yeah. Some of you are really stable with both legs straight. Yeah, that's nice, Daniel. So just good stable position, Crystal, or I can see in my screen. Some of you, I'm just not calling out because you're in different screens. Yeah, nice, you will say. Nice, Oji. So now slowly release the leg and slowly roll over to your back. And then you're going to change sides. Sandhya, you bring the head this side so that you're visible. Others, if you want to see the screen, then you change the head position. Those who know the pose, you can just roll over. But then your back will be to the screen. You won't see what's happening. So first is this position called the Anantasana. And then from here, you take that knee towards the side rib, hug the shin. So just stay here. Not straightening yet. So you just the bend position first, just feeling that bend, lateral, that hip flexion. And then see whether you can catch big toe or some portion of the inner calf. And then have that curiosity, can I open the knee? And when a resistance is felt, you respect that resistance. We do not know what it is. Maybe that's a energy of a past traumatic emotion. So we do not know, we respect it. We try to listen to what it is, like Rama listened to the whispers of Ahalya. So churn out the mythology and the philosophy and the spirituality all in this ancient wisdom which is flowing to us in this moment. You bring all that up, pose becomes asana. Otherwise, we are posing. Now slowly release the leg and roll over to your back. And eyes closed and watch whether you can get a sweeter sense, whether the mind is now settling into this space that you are. So the energy of the bhu starts to settle a bit more into the bhuvaha, the space in the bones, in the muscles, the space which is expressing as the shape. Normally we connect only to the shape, but Diyo yona prachodayat. May the great wisdom of the universe guide us to recognize ourselves beyond the bhu, the realm of the gross expression, to sense the bhuvaha. And if we start to feel it, if we start to get a sense of this space that we are, the light that we are, that is suvaha, the light. I'm an illumination of the great light of the universe. Bhargo devasya. Now you can bend legs, tip to any side and slowly come up. We'll do a few standing postures in relation to what we were doing on the floor. So just slowly come up. So the first position we will take is warrior 2. So standing somewhere in the middle of the mat, facing the screen is fine. Step out evenly. Just step out. So the feet nicely spread. And roughly we say, but proportions are so different in each one of us. Roughly say from the wrist to ankle. So that is the distance of the width. But some of us may have different kinds of length. So it might not be. You also have to feel whether your ankle feels any strain. Then you have to shorten the stance. Now from here, turn out the right leg. Just turn out. Okay, so the turning out is generally done in our system by lifting the front of the foot, turning out on the heel without disturbing the rest of the body. And from here, without leaning, so these both sides of the pelvis, you maintain in this parallel position, bend the right leg. Okay, and pause and stay. So sometimes when we, from here as we bend, we'll go this way. So then we're not being aware of this. So really be aware. Can I hold the pelvis stable? So you go down. And then if there's a big incline here, slide out the other foot so that you can go down more and more, depending on your comfort level. Okay, so just staying here, let the thighs strengthen. And you can either look straight or look at the right middle finger tip. Then slowly straighten the right leg, turn the right leg slightly inward, then turn out the left leg without disturbing other parts of the body. Then in your attention, hold the pelvis stable, bend the left leg to warrior on the left side. So there's all this lateral flexion, which we prepared for from the Supta series. So here the invitation is, Vira means hero, Bhadra means auspicious. May we become heroes in an auspicious way, not heroes in fighting in WhatsApp and FB and social media, not that kind of heroes. Heroes in bringing harmony. Virabhadra. Now slowly straighten the arm and turn feet towards each other. And you may softly step and release the arms and just stay here for a few moments. So what you did earlier was that knee to the side hug. So right now a related pose is what's called tree pose. So if your mat is a little bit soft, you might need to step into the floor to feel the firmness of the floor. But if the mat is quite sturdy, then staying there without turning the left foot out, take the right foot to open out. So right foot is a little bit in front, turn out the right leg, then you bend this right leg and take the foot as high as possible. Just stay here for a few moments, assess the position. If you're feeling super confident, hands by the hips. If you're feeling super stable, hands by the chest. Then if you're feeling confident, slowly taking it overhead. So just staying here. This is one position which the ancient yogis used to do a lot as part of their tapas. So how many times we fall, we get back It's the same thing with concentration practice, attention practice. We will fall off our focus, but as many times, so many times you come back. Now slowly lower the arms, release the foot. So take your left foot slightly in front, turn out the leg. Then lift the knee and bend the leg, take it up. Steady the gaze. And then take the hands here, here, overhead, whatever is appropriate to you. Then slowly lower the hands and release the foot. Take a moment. So now, like again, what we did earlier, same way. So earlier you had this position where from here, you went to here. The same way Sandhya do this. So take the knee out, then catch hold of the big toe, and then be enchanted. Can I open sideways? So maybe I'm here. So sometimes I'm there. So whatever comes, you do that and stay for a few breaths. So do not label yourself as tight or anything. That and this is both perfectly fine. And if you're falling all the time, that's also fine. This is where we start. From each fall, your nervous system is assessing how can it prevent the fall next time. And over many times, you will find the stability. Now slowly release the leg. So let's work on the other side. Take the knee up on the left side. Catch hold of the big toe. Then with no desperation, only a little bit of enchanted inspiration as to how much the leg will open. Yeah, the arm can be spread out or by the hip, whatever is, just staying for a few breaths. Then slowly bend the leg, release. So today we are trying to cover up a few different categories of postures. We did the Supta reclining. Now we did a little bit of standing. We'll do a little bit of seated. So take the seat, Ubhavista Sthiti, so sitting down, straighten the legs in front of you. So you're seeing Sandhya from the front. So from the side, what you're trying for is to, so here my lower back is behind the buttocks. What we're trying to do is to press, to lift so that the lower back is in line with the sit bones, not here. So you need to work on lifting up a bit to come to this position. If it doesn't happen, if you're going to regularly practice, we will tell you to put a block under the buttocks or a pillow so you can get this action. Now we are going to do a pose called Janu Shishasana. So you bend the right knee outward, take the foot towards the left thigh, towards the pubis. Keep the left hand there and reach the right arm here first. Each exhale, you're leaning forward. Inhale, you gently come back. So just lean forward. So each time you lean forward, you're considering your navel going forward. Don't think of head going down. You're just trying to take your navel forward, okay? And then back. Navel forward and back. And don't despair if you're not getting a big range of movement here. So this is where we start. So just moving as purely a pelvic movement, just like in that sun salute first action, you move with the length of the belly, okay? Then after a while, once you've taken the length forward as much as you can, slightly if you need to round, that's okay. You can catch hold wherever comfortable and stay for a few moments. Inhaling, slowly rise. Exhaling, hands behind you, gently arch, and then come back and straighten the right leg. Bring the left foot towards the right thigh, towards the pubis. Keep the right hand outside on the floor. Reach the left arm forward and only be curious about how much the navel can go forward and back, not can I catch the foot. So just navel and back, navel and back. So you're invoking this pelvic movement, not just head, neck, and ego. So attention has to move. That is dhyanam, dhyanam. Attention moves.
Wow.
And then lastly, you can choose a spot which is appropriate for you at this point of time and stay there.
Voilà. On ne voit pas très bien parce qu'il y a le soleil.
Ah oui.
Donc on va fermer les rideaux. Non, bah.
Ouais.
Moi j'ai changé
Tu
parce que...
peux faire un plus proche.
Now inhale, slowly come up, and exhale, release the hands down, gently arch. Then straighten the left leg forward. You bring this right knee vertically up for a pose called Marichi C. So right leg up, then you lift the left arm up, reach forward and hug this shin with the left arm. So if you are, yeah, like that. Okay. So in this position, so, and you're twisting. So this is an upper back spine twist. So you're here, you've hugged, but then your chest should look to the side, but don't lean backward. You're trying to be as vertical as possible and then twisting and looking backward. So staying here for a few moments. Good pressure at the ascending colon and that whole area. So like squeezing out stagnant blood in those areas. Then look forward, slowly release the right leg forward. Then bend the left leg, put the left hand a bit behind you, and then reach the right arm up and forward, across, hug. So this posture is in a family of postures which are dedicated to different pioneer sages of this system. This is the sage Marichi, a dedication to that, but it's in line with another sage, Matsyendra, who is one of the pioneers of the Hatha Yoga system. So even as we do it today, we acknowledge the continuous flow of wisdom from those times. Archaeologically, we say 3000 to 4000 BC. But before that, yoga was happening as a process. So from then on to now, it's a great flow, acknowledging all those efforts. Now look forward, release, straighten the leg. So the last pose, we do what's called Paschimottanasana. So don't force this much. So you're gently tipping a little bit forward. So if I'm here, if I'm not able to tip the pelvis forward much, I'm fine. I'm just here, it's fine. So just staying here for a few breaths. And some of you, you might catch the feet. So, but don't make it into a desperate lean, because this can also damage the back if you're simply putting your ego into it. So just gently reach forward and catch. The invitation of the pose is Paschima Uttana. Paschima means the back of the body. So let the back of the body open up. So right now, who are we? So behind that, at the back of that consideration, is all the notions you have been having from birth, from childhood. Right at the back of that consideration of who am I, there is this, whatever the community have told us, whatever experiences, whatever beliefs, and that has cemented us. We lose our touch with nature, we lose our touch with the universe. So may this cemented back, may that soften, may that open, so that we can sense the light of the universe streaming and projecting us at the front. So now slowly come up. So you can sit facing that side. You can cross the legs and then hands just behind, gently arching. And then back to an upright sit. We don't have much time, but just to cover up the different limbs, we will do a little bit of breathing work. So just like stretching should not be confused with asana. Simply breathing doesn't become pranayama. But yet, let's say that in dedication to pranayama, let's do some breathing. So one of the most simple but different kind of breathing practices well known is the alternate nostril breathing. So those who are new to this, you take your right hand up and let the index and the middle finger close to the base of the thumb. And this ring finger and the thumb finger, these are the two fingers which is going to manipulate the left and the right flow. So you will close the right nose with the right thumb. And let's breathe in through the left. So exhale completely. Inhale through the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now with the ring finger, close the left nose, release the right nose, exhale through the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Through the right, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the right, exhale through the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Left inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close left. Exhale, double the length. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close. Exhale left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close both nostrils. Hold for 8 counts. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right nostril exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right nostril inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close. Left exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And lower the hand. Stay with the eyes closed. So in yoga, especially in line with the tantric practices, there's some visualization. So we'll do a quick visualization. So think of this pelvic floor space as the earth, and then the upper pelvic space as water. So like water, so like any pond or a body of water, there is earth at the base of it, the lake bed or the river bed, and then there's the surface of the water. So that is represented by these two base locations. And from that earth at the pelvic floor, imagine a lotus stem starting to rise up. It rises up above that water at the upper pelvis, and it is going towards that navel where it senses a lot of light. So thread your way up with your awareness, and then it is inspired by the greater spaces above that into the great sky of the heart, then going upward towards the throat space, and then towards the skull space, and towards the middle of the crown of the skull. So from here, if we can visualize like you're rising above the crown of the skull. So the teachings say that the energy body extends up to 12 finger width above the skull point, just rising. So our mind thinks that we end where the skin ends. The teaching says that you're one with the whole universe. So just rising up. Then from there, exhale down through the crown of the skull and down all the way to the base of the pelvis. Then inhale from the base of the pelvis, through the upper pelvis, through the navel, through the heart, through the throat space, through the skull space, through the crown, up into the sky. Exhaling down all the way into the pelvic floor and even a bit downward into the earth you can. So just do that a few times. So this is a key practice, not this particular visualization. To Madhya Gaha is the term. Madhya is this line at the middle. The Ga word stands for let attention go there. Let attention, awareness, and energy move through the middle, the core of our being. And after the next exhalation, let go of the deliberate focus. And sitting for a few moments, perhaps now you're sitting as what we call yogastha. You're sitting in yoga, meaning sitting in awareness, sitting in sense of energy, sitting in a sense of a bigger context of what you are. And then you can slowly open your eyes. And namaste to all of you. So those who are new to us, if you don't know us, I'm Manoj and this is Sandhya. We run a school called Manasa Yoga along with a group of certified Manasa teachers. And we are all available in Zoom. So if you would like to do philosophy-infused classes, you can check us up and maybe join us. So thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Sandhya.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Manoj. Thank you, Sandhya.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj. Thank you, Sandhya.
Thank you, Manoj. Thank you,